You ever notice how the world begs you to stay sane? In a place that's absolutely insane, they tell you to stay calm, stay collected, keep your head down, don't make noise, pretend like the system makes sense. But behind every smile in the office, behind every handshake in the boardroom, there's panic, there's fear, there's lies. And the Joker? He saw through all of it. He didn't just see the cracks in society, he laughed at them. Because chaos is honest. See, while the rest of the world scrambles for control, trying to keep up appearances, maintain order, cling to some illusion of balance, the Joker dances in the debris. He doesn't fear the chaos. He feeds on it. He looks at the mess, the pain, the hypocrisy, and he laughs. Not because it's funny, but because it's all so tragically predictable. That laugh, it's not just a sound, it's a weapon, a shield. It's the last line of defense when everything else falls apart. When the world becomes too cruel to cry for, you laugh. You laugh because you realize the truth. Nothing is under control. Not them, not the world, not even you. And the moment you accept that, the moment you stop trying to glue back the broken pieces and instead dance in the rubble, you become free. That's what the Joker figured out before the rest of us. He saw that perfection is a prison. That sanity, as defined by a broken world, is just another straitjacket. And in letting go of the illusion, he became untouchable. Modern psychology gives it a pretty name: radical acceptance, embracing imperfections, finding meaning in the mess. But the Joker, he did it without a therapist. He found comedy in tragedy. He weaponized failure. He took the worst parts of life and turned them into punchlines. Because when you laugh in the face of chaos, you're not weak, you're not crazy, you're in control. And in a world built on lies, that kind of honesty, that kind of freedom, is the most dangerous thing of all. Pain, betrayal, loss, most people drown in those things. They feel everything so deeply that it crushes them. They beg for closure. They spiral into despair. But the Joker? He walks through it like it's weather, like it's just rain. He doesn't avoid pain. He just refuses to let it own him. You see, that's what separates him from the rest of the broken souls crawling through the cracks of this world. He doesn't fight the storm. He becomes it. He doesn't chase after apologies, explanations, or validation. Because when you expect the world to hurt you, and it does, you don't flinch. You smile. That's what makes him so terrifying, so unshakable. When others would collapse under betrayal, he laughs. When people lie to him, leave him, cheat him, try to kill him, he doesn't beg them to stay. He doesn't cry out for justice. He just keeps moving, keeps smiling. Why? Because he understands something most people never will. Emotions are fuel, but they should never be the driver. He doesn't numb himself like the cold-hearted. He doesn't pretend like nothing hurts. But he doesn't let the pain pull the strings either. He cuts them. He chooses detachment over destruction. And in doing so, he becomes immune to the manipulation that breaks others. Think about the Dark Knight. When he's being interrogated, smashed against walls, beaten senseless by Batman, does he scream? Does he cry for mercy? No. He laughs. Because in that moment, the one who loses control isn't him. It's Batman. That's power. Most people give others too much access to their emotional buttons. Push this, and they explode. Pull that, and they collapse. But the Joker, he rips the buttons off. You can't trigger someone who's already set themselves free. And this isn't about being heartless. It's about being resilient. When you stop expecting fairness, when you detach from outcomes, when you stop tying your peace to people who never cared to protect it, you become something rare. You become someone no one can use, no one can break. The Joker didn't get that way by accident. He was broken, then betrayed, then burned. And instead of trying to rebuild what the world shattered, he built himself. Not out of love, not out of hope, but out of fire. We all wear masks. Some are just better painted. You think the Joker's madness was born overnight? You think he just woke up one day and decided to set the world on fire? No. He was made, molded, forged in a world that punishes emotion but rewards silence. A world that says, be good, while it carves you up behind closed doors. And what did he do with that pain? He didn't run from it. He didn't drown it in distractions or numb it with lies. He looked it straight in the eye and said, "Let's dance." What most people call darkness, rage, envy, bitterness, grief, he saw as power, not because he wanted to hurt people, but because the world had already hurt him. And in that hurt, in that betrayal, he found something most people are terrified to face: his shadow. Carl Jung called it the shadow self, the part of us we bury, the parts we're ashamed of, the thoughts we suppress, the feelings we deny. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. The more you repress the darkness, the stronger it grows. The more you fake the smile, the more your soul starts to rot behind it. But the Joker, he embraced his shadow. He didn't run from the monster inside him. He fed it, understood it. He made peace with the fact that he was broken. And in doing so, he became whole. You want real strength? Stop pretending you're okay. Stop locking the rage in the basement of your mind like it's some kind of shameful secret. That pain you hide, that fire you choke down so no one sees it, that's your edge. That's your weapon. That's your power. The Joker knew this. That's why he couldn't be controlled. That's why people feared him. Not because he was violent, but because he was whole. He had nothing left to hide. He didn't put on the suit and try to be someone else. He became who he really was, beneath the trauma, beneath the fear. And in that transformation, he became unpredictable, dangerous, free. And no, this isn't about becoming a villain. It's about becoming real. Because your darkness isn't your enemy. It's the part of you that survived when everything else broke. Use it. Create with it. Fuel your work, your art, your voice, your vision, with the parts of you the world told you to hide. Because when you accept the monster within, the world stops being scary. You become the thing it fears. Let's not get it twisted. The Joker's way? It's not for the faint-hearted. It's not a manual. It's a mirror, a brutal, twisted reflection of what happens when someone stops playing by the rules and starts living by their truth, no matter how dark that truth may be. But let's be real. Not everyone should walk the Joker's path. Not everyone should let go of the wheel and surrender to the madness. Because while his chaos makes him powerful, it also makes him a storm with no anchor, a wildfire with no direction. He burns bright. Yes, but he burns everything. And if you're not careful, trying to become like him, you'll lose yourself in the fire you were meant to control. That's where balance comes in. That razor-thin line between chaos and clarity, between feeling everything and letting nothing control you. Because it's not about becoming emotionless, and it's not about becoming a slave to emotion either. It's about learning to ride the storm without sinking into it. Yes, acknowledge the darkness. Yes, tap into your rage, your grief, your chaos. But don't drown in it. You can hold your demons by the leash without letting them run your life. That's the real power, to feel everything, but be ruled by nothing. The Joker chose his madness. He wielded it like a weapon. But most people, they fall into it by accident. They lose themselves because they never built the mental muscle to carry that kind of weight. So here's the truth. You don't have to become him to learn from him. You don't have to paint your face, burn down the city, and declare war on the world. But you do have to look in the mirror and stop lying to yourself. Stop pretending you're fine when you're cracking inside. Stop burying your rage in silence and your grief in jokes that don't land. Start owning your chaos. Start mastering it. Let it fuel your drive. Let it sharpen your voice. Let it fortify your heart. But never let it control you. Because chaos without control, that's destruction. But chaos with discipline, that's transformation. The Joker was right about one thing. The world's a mess. People will lie to you, betray you, break you. And when they do, you'll hear the laughter. The question is, will it be yours? So here's your call to action. Embrace the Joker's chaos within a framework of self-awareness and self-control. Learn from the madness, but don't lose yourself to it. Be the storm, but don't forget the sky you're flying in. Don't be afraid of the darkness inside you. Just make sure it answers to you, not the other way around.